Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Wednesday, June 2nd, 2021. I am Fredicia Liebert. The Ministry of Health is reporting confirmation of community spread of COVID-19 in St. Kitts and Nevis. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws made the disclosure at the National Emergency Operations Center COVID-19 briefing on Tuesday, June 1st.
The public health team has conducted in-depth interviews with cases number 70 and 71. And we have not found a link between these two cases and any of the recently confirmed cases. And there isn't a recent travel history to or from a hotspot. Based on the information we have, this is a state of community spread. A state of community spread implies that the virus is now circulating in the community. And so it's theoretically possible for someone within the community to contract or pick up COVID-19.
Dr. Laws was at the time delivering the Health Emergency Operating Committee Situation Report.
Within the last 24 hours, the Ministry of Health has received positive results for 4 additional confirmed of COVID-19. We have started contact tracing for the original 2. The results of the last 2 cases just came in within the last 5 minutes. These 4 additional cases will be referred to as cases number 70 through to number 73. So as at present, the Federation has reported 73 confirmed of COVID-19, 59 cases St. Kitts, 14 cases Nevis. Please note that 48 cases have fully recovered. At present, we are following and monitoring 25 active cases.
The CMO also noted that every person has an individual responsibility to break the chain of transmission of the virus.
And we can do so by using the measures that we have been recommending for the last few months. And these measures include vaccination and adherence to the COVID-19 prevention and control measures. In particular, the wearing of the face mask, maintaining adequate hand sanitation, and physical distancing.
Chief Medical Officer Dr. Hazel Laws. A number of upgrades will be taking place at the Gingerland Secondary School during the summer of 2021. This is according to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Kevin Barrett. Barrett was speaking during a visit at the school on Monday, May 31st, 2021.
What we are here to do is to have a walkthrough guided by the principal, Mrs. Williams, and Deputy Principal, Mr. David. They have been holding the fort here, as we say, at the Gingerland Secondary School, doing a very good job of it, and I'm sure they will give us a comprehensive overview of what they would like to see happening in terms of repairs and upgrades and things like that for the upcoming summer. We thought that doing this early at this time would be good for us. We know that we are still in a situation where we have to prioritize. The economy is such that we cannot do everything that really needs to be done. So we are here looking at all of those things that should be done, and then we'll prioritize that list. So I'm hoping at the end of this exercise that we'll have a better idea as to how we will make Gingerland Secondary School for the upcoming school year a much better place to be. Just earlier, Mr. Liebert did say that we are trying to see how best we could provide the best form of education for our children. And doing things like this, I believe, would put us on a good path in terms of the infrastructure and things that should be in place to make children safe and comfortable in doing their work.
The Permanent Secretary, along with Junior Minister of Education, the Honorable Troy Liburd, Principal of the school, Lyneth Williams, Deputy Principal, Kano David, and the Supervisor of the maintenance team in the Department of Education, Alex Percival, toured the school to find out more about what needed to be upgraded.
The Nevis Disaster Committee has already convened one meeting in anticipation of the hurricane season, and most agencies are ready to activate their disaster plans should it become necessary.
Minister with responsibility for disaster management, the Honorable Alexis Jeffers, made that disclosure on Tuesday, June 1st, at the official start of the Atlantic hurricane season. Minister Jeffers is the chair of the Nevis Disaster Committee.
The prospect of a hurricane impacting us, especially at this time when we are being impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, is very troubling. The practice of physical distancing and masking, as well as sanitization regimes, are problematic at the level of the shelter management as well. Additionally, the possibility of prolonged disruption of essential water and electricity services not only could affect our comfort, but our health as well. So it is important, if not imperative, that we are prepared and have contingencies in place. As Minister responsible for disaster management, I encourage us all to get our individual and household plans in place in anticipation of an impact, even while praying and hoping that we are once again spared.
He also used the opportunity to commend the Nevis Disaster Management Department for its work.
In addition to the work that is being done at the community centers and shelters, the Nevis Disaster Management Department is investing in a robust communication platform that allows connection for our essential services, which aids in safety, security, and service delivery. At this time, I want to pay tribute to the Director of the Nevis Disaster Management Department, Mr. Brian Dyer, and his entire staff, for their proactive approach and their readiness in these challenging and demanding times. We continue to encourage our residents to stay safe and to always mentally prepare by paying attention to public service announcements and messages from the authorities.
The Atlantic hurricane season runs from June 1st to November 30th. Still to come, more than 60% of the population receive first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. The details right after this break.
Yes, I got vaccinated and I am feeling great. So I invite you to join us in the fight against this deadly coronavirus disease. So visit the health center in your area and get vaccinated.
For more information or to get vaccinated, visit your nearest health center. This message was brought to you by the Department of Public Health, Nevis.
Welcome back. St. Kitts and Nevis has given a higher percentage, more than 60% of its adult population ages 18 to 80, at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, more than other countries within the region. 70% of the adult population is being targeted for vaccination, which equates to 33,037 persons. As of June 1st, 2021, 27,749 persons had been administered the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, which is only given to persons 18 years and older. Of the 27,749 persons, 7,659 have received their second dose, which amounts to 23.2% of the fully vaccinated.
So far, more than 60% of the nation's adults sent a strong message that they listened to the facts and believed in the science and went forward and got vaccinated. So far, more than 60% of our nation's adults have decided not to wait for an alternative vaccine and took action now, not just to protect themselves, but our children, our pregnant mothers and the unborn, and the elderly and frail.
Dr. Wilkinson applauded those who understood that in a pandemic, time wasted could result in lives lost. He noted that the government's robust education and awareness campaign helped pave the way to achieve the goal of reaching this far.
There were some who held back because of genuine concerns, and these were with our far-reaching education program on the vaccine. Many who were undecided came forward and are still coming forward, knowing that the vaccine gives them, 1, a 63 to 83% protection from catching COVID, even if the contact with someone with disease, 2, an 84% protection from getting a disease requiring hospitalization, and 100% protection from COVID-19.
He reiterated that the decision whether or not to get vaccinated has so far been left to the individual citizens, but added that the vaccine is our best shot at protecting ourselves. Dr. Wilkinson was speaking at the NEOC COVID-19 press briefing on Tuesday, June 1st, 2021. The man who entered the Federation on May 11, 2021 at Limekeel Bay has been charged by both the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force and the St. Kitts and Nevis Customs and Excise Department. 27-year-old David Smith of Buckleys was arrested following his release from quarantine last week after testing negative for COVID-19. The police charged Smith on May 28th for the offense of entering a port that is not recognized as an appropriate port of entry, and on May 31st for the offense of entering the Federation without permission of the Ministry of National Security. He was charged by the Customs and Excise Department on May 30th for the offences of failing to file a declaration with a proper officer, arriving in the Federation in a vessel at a place other than a notified place by a customs officer, failure to report directly to a customs or a police officer upon arrival into the Federation, and failure to produce a certificate of clearance. He has been remanded to Her Majesty's Prison. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, I'm Freddie Sealibird. Thank you for viewing.